What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today when I talk to you about the top 5 short squeeze stocks that you need to add to your watch list going into this upcoming week. So I want to go over all the things that you need to know, but first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with some general data points and some reasons why the market may squeeze, you have a lot of big data. So starting off on Wednesday, you have CPI, on Thursday, PPI, and on Friday, Michigan consumer sentiment, each of which have the ability to really move the market. So again, that could be one point. We also do have, going into this upcoming week, Elon deleting a lot of interesting tweets, which was against Trump. So potentially you might have that whole fear subsiding, because I feel like the market did get dragged down a little bit during power hour on Friday because of people being worried that Trump and Elon were going to really blow things out of proportion this weekend, and looks kind of the opposite. So again, that could really stimulate the market going into this upcoming week. And this upcoming week, for companies unveiling the earnings, you do have a lot of big kind of meme / squeeze stocks such as GameStop and Chewy. So again, if they come in better than anticipated, that could cause a little bit more of a ripple across the board, causing a lot of shorts to start mitigating some risk. So let me know your viewpoint on that. Not in any particular order whatsoever. The top 5, starting off with the first one, ticker is EYEN, sitting at $4.88. Over the last 1 year, it is down 92.18, but over the last 5 days, it is up 190%. A lot of good information here. I'm not necessarily going to go over, so do your own due diligence and all the other fun jazz, but this is what they do. So feel free to pause it if you are interested, based out of New York, but we are here because of this. So 9.46% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 271,000 shares overall are being shorted. On Friday, shorts did increase 33,000 shares, so ultimately increasing their position by 15%. Cost to borrow average is 3.97%. That's an annual rate, not a daily rate, so just be aware of that. Short score, higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening, is sitting at 72.95. So this is exactly the type of stock that the market loves to squeeze. Somewhat heavily shorted, low float, so it does meet that criteria. And then through IBKR, you do see roughly around 50,000 shares available to be shorted. So ultimately, that might allude to some buying coming from big players, Vanguard, BlackRock, and so forth, because they love to buy stocks that are somewhat like limited supply just to lend out. So very advantageous for them. They make a lot of big money by doing so. So you could see some buying going into this week. So let me know your thoughts on the first stock. Moving on to the next one, you do have yours truly, GameStop. So again, that in among itself, because of their earnings, could be a pretty good catalyst, sitting at $29.58. Over the last 1 year, though, it is down 36.46. Over the last 5 days, it is down 2.83. But over the last 1 month, definitely has some good momentum. So it shows that it is still alive, up 13.03. I don't believe it needs any introduction, but in case you do not know what they do, this is it. So again, kind of look at that. But essentially, 12.18% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 49.76 million shares overall are being shorted. Fairly low cost to borrow, short score 67.16, and then through IBKR, it does indicate roughly around 3.2 million shares. So you might not see any buying coming from big names just to lend out, because cost to borrow is fairly cheap for that, and there's already a lot of available shares. But like I said, I think this company unveiling their earnings could be a squeeze and a kind of catalyst in among itself for the broader market. So this is the second stock. Moving on to the next one, a very popular one. I haven't talked about it in a while because it kind of hasn't done all that great, but BMEA Fusion, ticker is BMEA, sitting at 249. Over the last 1 year, it is down 77.91, and then over the last 5 days, up 68.24. Again, I don't believe this needs any introduction, but if you want to read into it, again, have at it. This is a biotech, 79 employees, based out of Redwood City in California, but 39.6% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 11.64 million shares overall being shorted. Cost of borrow average is 32.15. Shorts, as you can kind of see from this green line, have been very reactive to the stock price. So with the stock price really moving higher and it gaining some appreciation, shorts have really tried to kill it at all costs. So that could put them in a little bit more of a sticky bind. Because like I mentioned, if the market does start to really move higher, this stock will move up in accordance with that, and then shorts might be pinched. So again, that's something to somewhat keep in mind. Through IBKR, it does indicate 15,000 shares is available to be shorted. So this is the third stock. Moving on to the fourth one, you do have ticker INTZ, Intrusion Inc., sitting at 214 over the last 1 year. It is up 52.31%, and then over the last 5 days alone, up 51.77%. A lot of good volume, so shows that big money is definitely paying attention to it, and this is what they do. So feel free to pause it and whatever else. So system software, 48 employees, founded in 1983, but currently 8.69% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 1.47 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average 22.79. And for those of you that have watched a lot of my previous videos or even have caught on from this, I don't just choose the most heavily shorted stocks like 60-70% short interest, because a lot of those, it's sticky because shorts make up about like 90% of those stocks is like daily volume. It's just more of a recipe for disaster. Whereas what I like to pick is stocks that are starting to build some good momentum based on the stock price, and then in addition to that, there is a high presence of shorts. So again, this is why you're getting like 8, 9, 10% short interest stocks and not 60. But for those of you that have been watching my channel, you know definitely a lot of the ones I call out either appreciate and continue to appreciate a good substantial amount, or either go through a nice little squeeze. So again, this is why you add them all to your watch list, in my opinion. But short score 79.45, and then through IBKR for this stock, it does indicate 80,000 shares is available to be shorted. And then last but not least, moving on to the last one, is Rent. Ticker is Rent, and Rent Runway sitting at 862 over the last 1 year. It is down 67.85, but over the last 5 days, it is up 59.63%. This is what they do. So feel free to kind of look at it. Brooklyn, New York, and 983 employees, founded in 2009. But aside from that though, moving over here, 13.42% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 311.38 thousand shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average, fairly low, so 13.36%. Shorts, honestly, doesn't seem any rhyme or reason, doesn't really correlate with the stock price. They just do whatever the hell they want. And maybe there is some other factor, such as like GameStop or some other stock that's influencing what happens with this and shorts, because shorts increase, decrease, and nothing really happens with the stock price. So they just seem to do whatever the hell they want. One thing I do want to draw your attention to though is this: shares on loan is 285,000 versus what I mentioned, 311,000 shares being shorted. So there's more shares being shorted than on loan. So this is a good example of naked shorting. So again, very hard to kind of catch, but here is a good sign in my opinion. But short score 72.96, so again, higher the number, higher likelihood of a squeeze happening. Through IBKR, there is a lonely 2,000 shares available. So this one definitely could see some buying over the next little bit. So let me know your thoughts on these stocks. Is there any other squeeze plays that you feel could really move up? And if so, throw some tickers in the description below and why. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon and give buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.